Not too bad. How's things?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good, good. I thought I would get the request in early, and then my son's like, "Dad, I need my tea," so I had to go make him his make him his dinner. So I thought I'll tidy all the admin stuff up first, and then I'll jump on the
Right,
call.
right.
So
Good.
is that you finished for the day? Is it?
Yeah, well, just back. So I work full time in my other business, which is the boat repair business.
All right. Okay.
So just finished that, and now I've just set up in the little middle room next door to the main office at Pin Perfect. So
All right. Okay.
uh,
So what do you?
sorry if you might hear some balls getting hit in the background and whatnot. So hopefully it won't be too bad.
That's all right. They'll be competing with my son shouting at his pals on PlayStation anyway, so it's
Good,
it's
good.
not too bad. So a boat building business. What do you do for the day job then?
So boat repair. So my kind of background's marine engineering.
All right.
So I've been doing that since I was like 15. Did an apprenticeship at a boatyard over at Crinan, which is like the west coast. So I've been doing that now for the business I currently run is 10 years old this year.
All right.
So that's quite a good milestone. But yeah, always kind of been into golf. Got back into golf probably like 5 years ago, just kind of hitting balls around random courses with my mates,
Mm.
and then got the bug for it again. Then so played a little bit when I was younger, but not very much. Was never any good at it. Still not very good at it. Um,
I did a bit of
so
yeah. I was on your website earlier on just to get a bit of kind of background as to kind of how the business started and things like that. So what I normally do with
mhm.
the podcast is just to get kind of a bit about you first, so how you really kind of got into the game,
Yeah,
kind of your hiatus that you said that you'd had there,
yeah.
and then obviously getting into Pin Perfect. So if you just want to kind of start from the beginning, how did you get into the game? Who was your who's kind of driving force?
So I think I started playing probably when I was like 12. Probably not young enough, unfortunately. We used to play. Look, so I grew up in Gilphead, which is quite a small town in the west coast, and we had a little small 9-hole course, which was they used to do like a Tuesday night kids night. So me and my brother used to go and play there, and it was all right. Would hit balls and would never really get any tuition. So we used to play not very well and would enjoy it, but really struggled from not getting any tuition. So we used to then go. Our school would take us to like Macrahanish. So
Yeah,
there'd be like one of the teachers in the school would take us up to Macrahanish and play there. And I used to love it, but I used to come away from it hating it because I'd had such a terrible time losing balls and everyone else would be able to play. And I'd be like, this is terrible, hate this. And then kind of fell out of the game at that point. So probably when I was like kind of 13, 14, probably didn't really play again. And then maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, me and my mates started playing again. So we used to play Barshore, which is a great course in Paisley, which is like a council course. And you just pay your tenner, jump on and have a hit. And it was good. And then once you get the bug for it, I think at an older age, when you get the bug for it, it never leaves you.
yeah, yeah. It's something you can always go back to as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So from there, I just started getting lessons again, and eventually, like a couple of years in, joined Elderslie Golf Club,
Right. Okay.
which is just down the road, like walking distance from where I live. Great little golf course, quite a tricky little golf course. So yeah, it's like a nice parkland golf course. Again, suffers from a little bit of wet in the winter. Winter golf is never great, especially in Scotland. And that's kind of what drove me towards Pin Perfect was the kind of lack of indoor facilities in Paisley.
Yeah.
Loved playing simulator golf. I thought when I first went into a TrackMan simulator, I thought this is amazing. The technology was good, and that back then that was TrackMan 4, which is the sensor which goes behind you.
Mhm.
Um, had a few lessons and played a few rounds there, and it kind of got me thinking about why is there no one doing it in Paisley, and that's what got me the idea to start Pin Perfect Golf in this area. Kind of got hooked on golf at that point, so was obsessed with playing all summer. Loved getting lessons in the simulator. Loved the data that you get back from the simulator golf. So I think that was really kind of resonated as to why you would slice a golf ball and as to what's going wrong in your swing would really resonate when you're in a simulator. It's like, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. This is what I need to do to work on it. And when you're practicing and hitting balls, you actually get some feedback, which is something you don't get at the driving range. And I think you can go at the driving range, buy 100 balls, and make yourself worse very easily.
Yeah. I'm not. I've spoken about it on the podcast before. I'm not a driving range fan.
No.
I go with the intention of, right, this will be a good practice session. I'm going to buy 100 balls. I'm going to work on things, and then by the time I'm at ball 20 odd, I've pulled my driver and I'm just trying to hit it over the fence at the back.
It's so true.
It's really pointless. And this year, I'm trying to get better and improve this year, and I'm going to use kind of statistics. I kind of paired up a wee bit with ShotScope.
Mm-hmm.
I've used ShotScope for years.
Mm-hmm.
They've got
Yep.
data as well, but that I'm going to be using to try and improve on the metrics.
Yep.
But they don't have the data that shows me why I'm blocking the ball or whatever else. So it would be kind of the simulators that would do that. I was speaking to a guy last night. He's from Minnesota. And his weather, from what he knows, his weather's quite similar to ours. So when the winter comes, it's dark early doors, the weather's rubbish, you can't get out and about. So he plays like in the simulator leagues and things. And I have a friend who is based in Denver, and he was starting a simulator business. And he's now doing one in New Mexico. So he's going and building out sims, and he was trying to do quite similar to what you had. That's got like the bar facilities, and they've got various bits and pieces, a bit of a kind of social hangout, but also golf shop attached to it and some serious kind of practice. He had some guys to come and do lessons because we just don't get the weather here to be able to practice all year round. And as much as every year comes around, I say, right, I'm going to work on this over the off season. I mean, that's us in February now, and I've hardly worked on anything. I played 18 holes at Ratho on Saturday last week. Last week, just the other day actually, Saturday, and I've almost forgotten how to swing a club. I can putt because I've been practicing in my office here with my putting mat and things, which is fine. But actual physical how to swing a golf club, I'm like, this feels so alien to me.
I was the exact same. I joined the Winter League at my course this year. Thought I'll play the Winter League, I'll get out every weekend, and the reality of it, obviously the business kind of hit the ground this year. It was a bit later than we thought, so we kind of got the keys to the premises at the end of November. I think I played maybe 2 or 3 Winter League games, was doing all right, scored a couple of points, and then stopped. And then I decided, that was maybe like 3 months had gone by, played for the first time last weekend, and again, couldn't hit a ball. And I'm like, what is going on? I was like, I've been hitting loads of balls in the simulator. I was like, got out with the guys, and I ended up going off at 13 because I was just like, this is not the one. Came straight here, started hitting balls in the simulator. I'm like, what is going on? But like, it's hard. It's just getting the time and actually just knuckling down and hitting balls and getting some data and realizing what's going on and try and fix that and drill it into you, because it's difficult.
Yeah. So what are you playing off just now then? I seen you've on your website, you've got you're a high handicapper, which was a bit strange actually, because I probably wrongly assume you own a simulator business. You'd be a low guy, and this is where you want to go. So it was quite good when I seen you were a high handicapper. I thought that's life.
So I play off 19 at the moment. Tried to get them down last year. I was pretty close to getting them down, or to get it down, but really struggled to hold a full round together. So I'll have like great holes and just like one bad hole that throws you off, and then by that point your head's gone and you can't get a round in you. So it's definitely in there. It's just holding it round for 18 and getting a scorecard in that's going to bring your handicap down. But that's what I struggle with, is just one bad hole and your head's gone. And it's difficult. I don't get angry or I don't lose my temper, but it's just the concentration that you need to keep a full round together goes.
And there's nothing.
And that's what I struggle with.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you've got a card in your pocket as well. Like, I've had some really good rounds, although I think the worst thing for me was when they started saying you could put in general play, because I'm now consumed with putting in general play cards, because I'm so scared that the one time I go don't put a general play, it's going to be the round of my life. It's going to be the one that gets me cut. So
you can't win. It's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So how does the simulator side of things work then? You said you've got a sim league there. Well, first of all, let's start back to Pin Perfect now. So you opened just the beginning of this year, is that right? Officially?
Yeah, so our first kind of trading day was like between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
So we got the keys for the premises. We were hoping to get this premises back in spring last year, and we were waiting for it to be ready, and spring came and went. The agent to the premises phoned me and said, "Oh, sorry, the premises is getting sold." so you're going to have to find somewhere else. So me and my partner Rebecca started looking somewhere else and had all the business plan ready to go, had everything sitting ready to go. Spent all summer looking for somewhere else, and there just wasn't anywhere suitable. Went and looked at other places, and it's just like, if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. Like, the premises needs to be optimal, otherwise the business doesn't work. So we spent all summer looking, and we were literally ready to pull the plug. We're like, it's not going to work. Now is not the right time. And that literally that day, the agent phoned me and said, the sale's fallen through. Do you still want in? And I'm like, yeah. So went for another visit just to make sure everything was all good. And then at that stage, this was like the end of August, and then spoke to the solicitor to sign the lease. And he said, well, hold on a minute. He's like, you can't sign this. You need planning permission. And I'm like, yeah, it's all right. We'll be fine. We'll get the planning permission after. He's like, nah, you can't do that. So we needed to change the use to a leisure use. So he's like, I can't advise you to do that. So I wisely, I think, took that advice and said to the landlord, I'm like, look, I'm going to have to get planning permission. And I was like, at this point, there's people queuing up for this unit. They're going to pull it away from us. But luckily, it turned out that the landlord was quite into their golf. So I think they were quite happy to have us in here and not have a car garage or other sorts of kind of businesses in here. So thankfully, they were happy to wait for the planning permission to come through, which took ages. So the planning permission came through pretty much just as we started to build. So we started building, would have been sort of 13th of December, I think. And that was another thing. We had a joiner company lined up, phoned him to say, look, we're ready now. And he's like, oh, sorry, I can't come till the end of January. And I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So that's where we got messaged Keel's Joinery. So I don't know if you've seen his YouTube video, but messaged him and he was dead happy to come and have a look. Came and looked that night, measured up, price came in right on target, and he started like the next Monday. Mm-hmm. So that was a massive saving grace, because if we didn't get him to come and start it, we probably would have been still building the place just now. And he done a fantastic job, very efficient, filmed some good content out of it, made a good video. Probably gave us a bit of a boost as well, which was helpful. And yeah, we got the place finished. And then after he was finished, then I went in, fitted the rest of it out. So put all the walls up, padded walls, fitted the screens, the simulator, the floors, everything else in after that, which was a lot of work. Probably went in slightly naive to it all, but we got it done. And then we got first sort of training. First trading day, I think, was between Christmas and New Year, maybe like 28th maybe. Did a bit of testing just to make sure. We had to learn the backdoor systems as well, make sure we knew what we were doing before we got customers in. Okay. So we did that, and then we had a kind of soft opening day, which went really well. And then we've been trading ever since, and it's been really good. We've got the feedback we're getting is incredible. I think people have been dying out for a space like this locally. Yeah. And people are loving it.
No, it looks brilliant. Certainly from the socials, it looks really good. So what do you have in the facility then? So you've got a couple of hitting bays. I've seen there a putting.
Yeah, so we've got three TrackMan IO bays. So nice big wide bays. So each bay can take a left and a right hand player, which is really good. TrackMan do offer like a duo. So if you've got a narrow bay, you can have a dual sensor, which works in some facilities. But if you can get a nice big wide bay, it's a much nicer hitting environment for swinging a golf club and not feeling like you're crammed in. So that's good. And then we've got obviously an indoor putting green, which is really just to transition players in and out. So people like to arrive early, which is great. Have a little bit of a putt, and then we've got training aids and a coffee machine at the moment. We've actually just signed up with a local coffee roaster, so we're going to get some local coffee beans in, and we've got another coffee machine on its way, so we're going to be doing coffees. And then future plans would be to get a bar in upstairs. So we've got a nice floor space above us here. So we want to get kind of a bit of a bar area. We don't want to push the bar vibe too much, because I quite like the indoor kind of practice facility, but people do want it. We've learned over the last month that most of our clients are groups of guys that want to come and hang about with their mates and play courses. I really thought that we would get more people wanting to come and knuckle down, practice hitting balls, but most of our clients are groups of guys just want to hang out and play courses on the simulator, which I think is great. I would say it's maybe like 20% of our clients are people just practicing. The rest is just people having fun playing courses.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Is it more like a bit of a destination spot to come and hang out, or have you found that you are
100%.
getting the kind of like serious, the serious players in that are want the data over the winter and want to be able to keep their swing going? But you said it's more on the kind
It's
of
less than I thought. I thought there'd be more people. Maybe they've not found it yet, but most of our clientele is just people wanting to come and hit balls with their mates and play courses, which is good. I mean, it's interesting. The actual original idea was the golf sim and gym, so having a gym facility with the golf simulator. So I pay for a gym membership up the road. There's been a few simulators nearby. They're a bit of a long drive for me, and I was like, well, actually, let's combine that, have a gym and a golf simulator facility. Budget wise, didn't really allow for that straight away. I'm kind of glad it didn't, because I actually now realize that maybe the gym and the sim side of things might not be as popular, and actually more players just want to come and hang out and play courses. So we've kind of got that in the back burner. We've got space that we could maybe use to have a gym facility, but I really don't think it's what people want. Most of our clients, I think it's quite a small niche that maybe want that. So I'm quite glad that we didn't go down that route in the end.
That may be something that you can maybe look at for next winter. Then, you know, if there's if it starts picking up on the like the practice side of things, and you're able to offer someone gym facilities and golf facilities, you know, you might get a couple of the local teams that, you know, fancy coming down and trying it from there. Last winter, my son wanted to try like free climbing. So we've got like it's an alien rock style place, and they did a monthly membership, so you could go along and you could climb, but they obviously had the gym attached to it as well, that you could use as part of your whatever it was that you were paying. And at the time when we were looking at it, we were potentially taking it a membership. I thought that's actually quite good. Not that I'm a gym person myself, but I was like, it's a good facility that, you know, if it was cheaper than what it would have been to join another gym, but I was actually getting two for the price of one. So I think there might be something, as you said, that down the line that might
that was definitely my thought. But given the backdoor data that we've got, it's really looking like people want to play courses. But it's still early days, so we've still got way more people that will probably need to find out about us and get a bit more data and see where we end up. And I said to one guy actually on Friday, he's one of these players that was in just grinding balls in the shot analysis. And I said to him at the end, he was having a chat, and I said, yeah, we're looking at, we might open a bar up. So he says, oh, you don't want to do that. Like, you really don't want to encourage that kind of clientele. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm like, the clientele that we've got is just groups of golfers that maybe want to have a beer or two when they're hitting a few balls. But it's not really, it's just trying to make that fine line of like not having the intense golf bar where it's stag doos and people having being a bit rowdy. It's like trying to make it a nice environment for golfers to come and hang about. And if you want to hit balls and practice, then great, you can still do that. But the guys having a few beers at the other end aren't really going to affect you hitting balls in your simulator at this end. One of the things we decided very early on is you'll see some other simulator businesses will have kind of open bays where you can kind of see through into all of the other ones. We decided very early on that we would have kind of tunnel bays where when you're in your bay, it's quite private. Obviously, when you're in the breakfast bar and you're looking down, you can see everyone else. But when you're hitting in the bay, you've not really got any other distractions. You can't see the guy next to you, which I think is important when you're in a simulator bay, especially if you want to just hit practice balls and you're kind of in your zone. I think it's important that you do have a little bit of private space, which you don't always get when you're at the driving range. You're kind of people always around you and stuff like that. And it's nice just to kind of knuckle in and get into the zone and hit balls and knuckle down.
Yeah. So it is catering with aim in mind eventually that you would go down the kind of going there for a practice route side of things. Because you're right, when you do go to the range and then 9 times out of 10 you end up bumping into somebody you know, so you go start chatting with them and stuff, and then the session goes even further awry. So you're doing lessons as well, I believe, yeah?
We do, yeah. So we've got Ali's our in-house pro doing lessons. So that was another thing that actually worked out quite well for us. So Ali was the assistant pro at Elderslie for a number of years, and he ended up getting the general manager's role at the golf club. So for him, it meant he was then separated from the pro shop. So it kind of was there was a conflict of interest for him being able to do lessons in the golf club. So it actually worked out perfect because it means that he can come in here and do private lessons and carry on doing that. So the timing was perfect. It was always something we knew we would need, but we're like, we'll worry about this down the line. We'll get open and we'll see what happens. But the timing was just perfect. And I spoke to Ali, and it was really good. He's been really helpful as well, setting the place up and having that bit more professional advice of what he would need and what the facilities would require for him to be able to give lessons and maybe in the future do club fittings and all that kind of stuff down the line. So having him on board before we opened, I think, was really helpful.
Yeah. And I suppose he can, if you're saying about the kind of back end data and stuff like that as well, he couldn't, if there was a session he maybe couldn't make. So you say he's teaching me, for example, and I can go along, hit some stuff. He can then look at that in the back end and kind of give me some pointers for the next time.
The TrackMan software is amazing. See, I don't know if you've ever had a TrackMan lesson, but to be able to get the video footage back and get the screencast from the pro after, and him giving you a little bit of a rundown of what you worked on, and when you do go to practice on your own elsewhere, you get to look at that video like, what did he say? Because you go for a lesson and it's like in one ear, out the other. Whereas having that on your TrackMan app, you can go back, have a look at it. Well, oh yeah, cool, right? I'm working on coming over the top, or I'm working on getting a better strike. It's like, go back to that, look at the video, and then practice. It's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, no, it is. I have had a TrackMan lesson before, and I do still kind of revert back to. I mean, it was a couple of years ago now, but whenever I feel like I'm in a bit of a funk and what am I going to be doing here? I always take Tiger Woods' advice and don't watch YouTube videos when I'm trying to work something out. But I know that the video that Kurt did on the TrackMan was what was my issue at that particular point. So I try and go back to there's a bit of a kind of hard reset. So no, it's definitely the way things are going, and I am surprised there isn't more kind of sim businesses in the UK. I know they are popping up and it is getting popular, but it's
definitely a growing industry. I mean, the TrackMan rep gave me some stats. I mean, I'll give you some of them now. So, I think he was saying, so outdoor golf is growing by like 2 to 4% a year, whereas indoor golf is growing by 8 to 10% a year. There's 20% more indoor golfers than there are outdoor golfers, which is crazy. You would never really think, but they were saying that they're finding that a lot of young people are coming into golf through indoors. Actually they go to the outdoor golf later on in life. So we're getting loads of youngsters coming in here, and it's amazing to see. We had a 6-year-old in the other day that could hit balls better than most other folk I've seen coming in, and it's amazing to see that. And they just love the technology. They fall straight into the simulator stuff dead easy. Whereas some of the kind of older school guys are a bit kind of wary of it, and they always question the numbers, and it's like, well, I don't know, the TrackMan probably doesn't lie. That's like, the numbers are probably correct.
No, it's very humbling when you get on those. So one of the driving ranges that's just along the road from me, they've got TrackMan, and you can do all the kind of games and stuff on it as well. They've got like the fishing one and whatever. So that's good if you're taking the kids with you and stuff. But I always thought I hit a reasonably far ball, from my eye. And then when you go on the TrackMan and you're hitting the driver and it's like, you're topping out at like 220, 225. I'm like, actually, this is embarrassing. I thought I hit a ball. I thought I did hit a ball further.
And the temperature's set to 25 degrees as standard.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting playing about with the temperatures. It's we were doing that the other night, and it's interesting to play about with the numbers and the settings.
Yeah. No, perfect. So what's the plans for the rest of the year then? Just to try and build that up. And I see you've been doing some of the social media stuff. That's hard.
Yeah. So our kind of next stage is really, we'd quite like to partner with a brand. So like we've not bought any clubs. So at the moment we're telling all our clients to bring their own clubs, which is great. So most people have clubs, but we'd quite like to partner with some manufacturer, but we're working on that. A lot of people are nervous about putting their clubs into simulator venues, for the fact that a lot of the simulator venues have been bars, and I think they think that the equipment can get damaged or abused, which I understand. So that's one thing that's on our kind of to-do list, is to try and see if we can get a partnership with a brand to kind of help promote their clubs, and also get clubs in here for people that are new to golf to start using. We want to get the space upstairs open. There is a potential that if this year goes well, that we might put another couple of bays in on the other side of our warehouse. So that's another plan. And then really just to get through the summer. So obviously the summer months I think will be tough. So it's making sure that we stay kind of on the ball, really, just to keep people coming in the door through the summer, and keep the place busy. So we've got plans to do various kind of events and whatnot throughout the summer, and just keep people coming through the door.
Yeah. You've almost got the reverse problem of every other golf club in Scotland, is that
so
when the summer's in, they're busy, when the winter's in, they're not, and you've got it the other way around. So
100%. So far it's been really busy. So it's just keeping people aware of us, and making sure that we're keeping on what people want, and giving that to people that is going to make them come back.
Yeah. No, well, fingers crossed, and I hope it starts working out from there and continues to grow.
Yeah, thank you.
I will. I'm in charge of my team. My work and my team are based through in Glasgow.
Yeah.
So I'll maybe give you a shout sometime when we've got an office due
You
on the
should.
go, and we'll come through and we'll have a hit through there.
Ideal. I look forward to that.
We're actually right next to Top Golf.
Yeah.
You know, that one in Glasgow. But I've done Top Golf before. When we've been away in the States, and it is good for a point, but it is just a bit of a let's see who can smash the ball into that net thing.
I'm not a massive fan. I think for the cost of it versus, I don't think it's really targeted at golfers. I think it's much more of like going bowling kind of vibe, where it's like a family day out, which is great, and that's good that facility is there for families and for people that want that facility. But it's definitely not the same as what a simulator or what TrackMan or provide. So I think it's good. I think if you look at some of the stats, I think Top Golf is struggling a little bit. I think Callaway sold out of their share of Top Golf,
they did,
which is interesting. So I think it's interesting that they're on the kind of bit of a decline, but I think it's really the way that they've kind of targeted their audience. It really doesn't appeal to most golfers, which is a shame because it could. I think they just maybe need to tweak what they're doing a little bit to maybe appeal to the average golfer, which they might do, but we'll watch this space.
Yeah. No, I think they will have to kind of move with the times a wee bit, and the days of kind of a driving range with flashing lights, which essentially is, are probably numbered considering the amount of stuff you can actually do in a simulator in the warmth.
They just need to reduce the cost of it a little bit. Maybe would help because it's hellish expensive. I've not been for a few years, but it was expensive back then. I'm sure it still is now.
Yeah, I've not been to the Scottish one. We've only been to one in Florida when we're on holiday, and it is expensive. You can have a day out at Disney nearly for what it costs.
It's so true.
to go on the Top Golf from there. So, anyway, thanks very much, Callum. Where can people find you on all the socials as Pin Perfect Golf and website?
Yeah, Pin Perfect Golf at Instagram. We're on TikTok as well. And Facebook, and our website is just pinperfectgolf.co.uk.
Yeah, how are you finding doing the socials?
It's been good, it is hard, but I think we've learned. I mean, people loved our build videos. Were like probably our most popular content. So now we're not really building anything. It's like what we're going to do, but we've got some stuff lined up. And again, if we can get a partnership with a brand, then we'll help do some videos there. And we've got Ali, our pro, lined up to do some videos and some content. So, but yeah, it's hard. It's not an easy game.
No, it's that's what I find the hardest part about this. Like, I'm quite happy to come on and speak to people and put out the content. It's when you've got to then advertise the content, which is a story for another day. I'll not bore you with that one. But social media is very difficult, and needless to say, people who are full-time social media and influencers, I do take my hat off to them because you do need to be at it full-time. You can't just kind of dip in and dip out if you're trying to
definitely not.
Kind of make something of that. So, right, perfect. I'll let you go hit some balls if that's your plan for the rest of the night. Okay, thanks very much, Callum.
Nice to meet you. Cheers.
Bye bye. You too.
We've installed 3 bays here. Each bay's got a TrackMan I/O sensor which goes on the ceiling. So in the sensor there's 2 cameras and a lot of radar technology. So the sensor reads the ball as soon as you hit it. You hit the ball into the screen. Depending on what you're playing, it will do different things. So most people will hit on the range or play a golf course. As soon as you hit the ball, you get loads of data. So up here we've got 2 data monitors. So this screen is a repeat of the projector screen. And then up here you get 2 data monitors which you can program to do pretty much show any data that you want. So like the ball position, the strike, your club path, all the kind of data tiles that you want can get programmed up here. We've even got a camera set up in this bay so you can get down the line, face on cameras, so you get an instant replay of your shot. So if you're into your golf or if you're a beginner, it's a great place to come. There's loads of data that you can get here and you can see everything about your swing straight away. So yeah, are you ready to play some golf?
Thanks, mate. That's a good shot.